Rumors are like weeds, and today our NBC News team is taking a look at one weed-like rumor. This one's a doozy, that schools are putting litter boxes on campus and making other accommodations for students who identify as cats. It's a rumor that's now being amplified, though, by at least 20 conservative candidates and elected officials across the country. Here's just a sliver of what some of those candidates and officials have been saying.
Children who identify as snakes, cats, whatever, they're providing litter boxes for the cats.
We've literally got kids who think they're cats and dogs using litter boxes in classrooms.
They put tails on and they demand that they have a litter box in the school.
NBC News found that every school district accused there said that those claims are false, and there is no evidence that any school has deployed litter boxes for its students. Now, there is a community of these so-called furries. These are folks that like to dress up or role play as felines or other animals. School-age furries tell NBC News they don't actually think they are cats and that they would never consider using a litter box instead of an actual toilet. I know you're looking at your screen right now thinking, what are we talking about? And the reason we're talking about this is because we want to dissect the anatomy of misinformation. And to do that, we're bringing in NBC News senior reporter Ben Collins, who is on the byline of this piece. Ben, you see plenty of wild things on the internet these days. Very rarely do they surprise you. But how did a rumor like this one even get going?
Yeah, Peter, I want to stress really quickly here. I know this sounds dumb. I know this sounds very stupid. I know it doesn't sound worthy of this stuff, but they're using it as a way to attack LGBTQ youth all throughout this country. They're saying, basically, what's next if you allow your kid to be gay or trans? Will they be animals next or something? And that's where this is coming from. This is an old LGBTQ trope from the 90s about gay marriage that's now being appropriated again. And I want to stress it's being used by people like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. They've both brought this up. And also Joe Rogan, who runs the biggest podcast in the country, the most downloaded podcast in the country this week. He said he heard it from a wife of a friend, but he didn't. What these people hear this from is they hear it from Facebook. And, people on Facebook say they all hear it from a niece or a wife of a friend or somebody like that. But really, they are inventing this of whole cloth. And we've seen examples everywhere from Prince Edward Island in Canada to California to Ohio to Florida. This is a rumor that will not die on social media, specifically because of Facebook and TikTok.
And Ben, one of the real challenges here that it reveals is the echo chamber, right? If you get all your information in these same sort of echo chambers, then you have no reason to dispute this stuff. But as you note, this is being used. It's being seized on as a political effort to criticize, to mock, in this case, marginalized communities.
Yeah, and I do want to stress here, too, that there is a case. We called every school district mentioned here. We called all the people who said that this was happening. They all ignored us, obviously. But the school districts called back, and they said, no, this is obviously not happening. But one of them said that they do have cat litter in schools, and that was at Jefferson County, Colorado. That's where Columbine is. And that school had cat litter for active shooter drills or active shooter situations that went on too long, that they could not control, and the kids might need to use the bathroom over a course of a day or days if it went on too long. So that's why they have it. And that's the grim reality here. This horrific thing that these kids have to go through active shooter drills, and they might need cat litter just to have them in classrooms, has been used to attack trans kids throughout the country in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and the very bottom line here, right, is that this stuff exists and it's bought into because people see this information. They take one small little nugget, perhaps like what you said, they buy into it, they try to weaponize it, and it repeats itself over and over again, which is the exact reason why we have an obligation. There's no magistrate to look at it. Ultimately, it's up to the independent media, the free press, to help challenge those conspiracy theories and those false claims. Ben Collins, appreciate your hard work and your reporting on this. Thank you so much. And thank you for